Finally, another episode of All Fin, where we go all in on the Miami Dolphins. This one's for the millions
and the millions
of viewers out there. After
More
a
like the
loss,
tens. You should have went the tens.
after a loss, we're trying to give you some energy.
Oh.
But really, it's here. Another episode of All Fin. I got Alejandro, Gordon, Bombay.
Hello, everyone. Hello, all 30
To my
of you.
left. And two now, Martin. To my right.
The water's still cold.
Today's episode is sponsored by Alaskan Glacier Water.
Oh, this guy.
No, all right.
We're gonna get
It
sued.
is not Alaskan glacier water. Okay, that's it.
Nah. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get into it. What do you guys think this past week, man?
Can we start with this guy? Because I would like to hear his.
I think this one hurts because we haven't felt it in a little while. We were riding this high of this 5-game streak.
PP touch.
And yeah, let's not get into who to blame and all that stuff yet. Obviously, it was a bad game. And
From who? I was just curious.
okay, if I had to put the blame,
I like to hear this. Go ahead.
I don't want to put it all on one person because I think it was a bad day by
It's-
an overall group.
Let's save it. Let's save
Okay.
it. Let's save it. Martin,
But
any
yeah, it
quick
feels
thoughts?
bad.
Tua.
You blew it.
I just feel like the atmosphere was too much for him. That's just my only opinion.
We're gonna get into
He
it.
did not look comfortable at all.
You look shook.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get into it. Let's get into the pre-flop. Let's talk more. Let's get into details. The pre-flop. You guys want to go ahead and choose who goes first, or you want me to choose?
Martin, have the floor. We already know what you're gonna. This is the
floor is yours,
game.
Maestro.
The game Martin has been waiting for.
No, see
A
that's-
bad Tua game, and
that's-
a lot of people have been waiting for it. So go ahead, go for it.
That's where you have me all wrong. I feel like this is what we needed as a team. I feel like we needed to lose this game. I saw too much swag for a team that has not done anything in the last few years. I understand there's a lot of players that maybe are now here, or not a few players that are here that were all winning teams, but we're a team that came off two like losing seasons or two winning seasons, but not going to the playoffs. Going to San Francisco, everybody, I think, felt like we were going to do better than what we
Hopes
saw.
were high.
I feel like I thought we got exactly what we were.
The moment
we got.
Jimmy goes down, you're like, oh yes.
No, I
Yes.
didn't think so, because I feel like although Jimmy is decent mid-level quarterback, it's a plug and play type team for that offense.
But you don't think the last pick of the NFL
No,
draft
no,
is
no,
going to
no,
come
no,
in
of
and
course
look
not.
as
No, of
good as
course
he
not.
did versus us?
No, but have you seen those quads? That guy has some legs on him.
This guy.
No, but realistically speaking, I thought we played a lot better, or we looked a lot better than what I thought we were gonna get. I thought we were gonna get literally demolished from round like play one. The only reason we really weren't moving is because Tua was off. Realistically speaking,
Yeah, it was a rough first half and even half of the third quarter for Tua. So everybody that thinks I'm just a fucking Tua dick rider,
you are.
I am saying he had a bad game. But is it okay for Tua to have a bad game? And I will
course.
say, of course it is.
I think if any game you want him to be bad, it
It's
was that
that
game.
one.
was this one. And like
Yeah.
if he looked bad versus the Texans, okay, yeah, then go fucking destroy him. But this was the number one defense, and that was a big
But the
topic
thing
of
is,
ours.
I don't think it had anything to do
Exactly.
with the defense.
I
I think
feel
it was
like
him.
Opportunities were there on the field, and you definitely left a lot of points on the board, and you missed a lot of big
I
throws.
can't say points because I don't think we got into position to score them, but I feel like a lot of plays were left on the field, a lot of bad throws.
Listen, the Jeff Wilson overthrow or
Yes.
floater, whatever
It
the
was-
fuck you
it
want
was
to call
a
it,
lot of
that's
bad
leaving
yeah,
points.
it could have been a touchdown.
And then
Yeah.
McDaniel gets a lot of the blame too, because then you're on your side of the field. You go for it on that 3rd and 1, and then you get sacked, and now you have to settle for a field goal.
No,
so
not
right
only-
there, you leave some points on the board. What happened?
Not only that, but that 4th and whatever,
There were
that was horrible.
That I did not like
got
that
lucky.
play call. I did not like that play call
on your
either.
own 18.
But still, it's like,
I'm sorry.
oh, I thought you were talking about the Gesicki one too.
No, man. We needed at that point. We needed it, but
I feel like it was too like pinpointed just to one
I'm
guy.
sorry,
You didn't
but
open
I'm
the
gonna
field
say
on that one.
credit to the 49ers on that fourth down play because
Absolutely.
he had
Greenlaw-
No, the
Greenlaw
Greenlaw
nasty.
all over.
Yeah,
No, those
yeah.
linebackers, forget about it.
all
They
over the
forget
field.
about
that
all
right
over the field.
there.
All over.
Those guys make the difference on
Yeah.
that team.
No, the
Obviously
D-line,
the front
D-line.
rush.
The
Yes, you're right.
All
But
right.
in the first quarter, you saw some good pockets for Tua, and he
No,
was
no,
just
no.
he
The
was
whole-
missing
and
everything.
you know what I
And
see
I will
Don't say
tell
the
you
whole
this
game.
guy.
Do
I will
not say
tell
the
you-
whole
I will
Hey,
tell you this guy.
you know what I see next? The next segment. Let's move
Okay,
on.
all right.
Okay.
All right. God damn, you guys get into it. It's like,
That was only 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
come
not
on.
bad.
That was
Hey,
like
come
a
on.
10-minute.
all right, that was the pre-flop. We have no winner. Let's move on.
Okay.
We're gonna go into flopping the nuts, or what
No,
do
no,
you-
no. We're doing the flop. We
The
lost.
flop,
We
okay,
lost,
okay.
Go.
The flop. It's confirmed. The flop. Well, we're gonna talk about the worst moment, the worst play, the worst player of the game. We're gonna give you the floor, Alejandro.
Since we already kind of pinpointed who the worst
No, no,
player
I
of
wanna
the
hear it
week
again.
was,
I want to hear it again.
obviously it is Tua. There's
Ooh.
no getting away from that. But
Wow.
since we know that already, I'm gonna switch to the point where the game literally changed for everything. And as much as we want to say that fourth down that Gesicki tried to sell as he fucking caught
He has to do
As
his
a
part.
helmet
He has
catch.
to do his part. Yeah, obviously.
for what, guy?
If David Tyree could do it, why can't he?
You're right,
All
but
right, get on to your point.
that hold call where Mostert took off for fucking 20 yards and then
Oh
the
my
pick
God.
came right after with I don't know what Just Fulson was trying to do on that one, and it results in that pick, and that's a momentum change from there. They felt like they kind of had control that whole game from there, man. That's my turning point. And yeah, the defining moment was that 4th and 1 not getting it, but I feel
don't
like
think,
a lot of things turned after that
I think
point.
the game was already lost before that because I didn't see any confidence in the quarterback. I think Tua was off from the first throw of the game.
You can't
he-
say the
he-
entire game.
sorry, the end
You
of the-
can't say the
and
entire
after
game.
the first drive,
He
I
said
don't count
it.
that one play.
I told you. He said it.
That one play touchdown. I'm sorry, that could happen to anyone.
The first missed throw to Waddle, you could tell that something was just way off with him that day.
Yeah.
No, but I'm trying to say the first drive we scored, so that's why I'm disregard that one. Whatever. That's one of those plays. Like, all right, great.
It's a
screen,
I just don't understand. Like the ball was just floating way too much, and I don't think we saw that had this entire season. And yeah, the pass rush was sometimes getting in his face where he has to throw. The one to Jeff Wilson, he had somebody in his face, but still, like throw it to him in stride. These running backs aren't used to waiting and watching a ball hang up in the air
He
and
missed
getting under it.
He missed Hill over the top behind.
Yeah, no, and there were a
Yeah.
couple
It was a
to
few.
Waddle that he just completely overthrew, and it just I don't know what to pin it on, man.
You're doing all the talking for Martin, by the way.
I know it's right. It's right.
Because
There's no one else to blame other than Tua. Even though I do
No,
think some coaching,
yeah, of course.
if I had to spread it out, 25% goes to McDaniel, 25% goes to the defense because the defense could not get the last pick of the draft off the field when they needed to. They failed to make a big play to get them off the field at the end. And then
the fact
Tua
that you're
gets
even
the-
saying anything about that when the time of possession for the offense
That
was
was really
13
bad.
minutes into the third quarter,
That
like
was really
almost
bad.
like done with the third quarter.
We
Our
had
time
a
of possession was
minute,
13 minutes.
minute of time of possession.
there were
through the third
so
quarter.
many
A
conversions
minute.
that the defense could have made a stop and they didn't. So
Did you see that only the first half they allowed a touchdown, and then those were both dump offs? Like it was literally they drove down the field fine, but they allowed only field goals.
dump
in the
offs,
second.
yeah, they were dump offs, but
McCaffrey was
why
touching the ball for 90% of the plays, and they were all dump offs to him and him going out and making plays, and
Yeah.
that's been the weakness.
How
of our
did we
team.
not game plan to take out McCaffrey? That's what Duke Riley. That's what you're sending to McCaffrey. Duke Riley.
The-
Come on, dude.
The thing you have to understand as well, we went in thinking Jimmy was the quarterback, and Jimmy you're expecting to be a little, even though he's not great.
Jimmy does the same thing though.
Jimmy's not a really like, yes, he is a dump off quarterback, but at the same time, like Ayuk has been making plays. Debo is an explosive receiver. Kittle is nasty. So like you can't really say, would you rather have Jerome Baker on McCaffrey and then have Riley on Kittle?
I think I would have rather put a linebacker on Kittle and have a DB cover McCaffrey.
I'm sorry. I'm not no DB we have.
Our
can cover.
linebackers are trash.
No, Yeah, that's fine.
And I saw way too much of Chubb and Phillips in coverage.
So, Martin,
100%.
what's your flop?
It has to be Tua. There to me, there was no other explanation. McDaniel gets blamed, but at the end of the day, you have to execute as a quarterback. You having throws that are going over your receiver's head that could have been. He literally only had 2 interceptions. He could have had like 4. It was really bad. He overthrew a lot. It wasn't like he was underthrowing. He was literally every receiver.
There were some
Every-
underthrows. Too.
Every receiver
Yeah,
was
the balls
was
into the ground.
jumping up as high as they can just to get a hand on it.
Yeah.
It's not, and it's looking bad.
There were a
because-
couple drops too, though.
Yeah, okay, that was a
A
handful.
couple.
You're looking at getting your your receivers hurt too, because those guys are out there to get you.
Yeah.
Like they're not just there to fucking get the ball; they're there to hit you.
And you
Yeah.
saw a big difference once Waddle got off the field.
Yeah.
A huge difference.
I mean, it was a lot of Tyreek Hill though after that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
They were
He
still
got
getting him the
hits.
ball. Yeah.
So yeah, that is
I'm gonna say my flop is the Dolphins only running the ball 7 times in the third quarter. Not in the third
Wait,
quarter.
into
but
the
through-
third quarter.
Into the third
Yeah,
quarter.
yeah.
7 times. You had multiple series where you had 2nd and 2, 2nd and 1,
It was weird to
3rd
see,
and
man.
2,
But,
3rd and 1, and
But why are you so
they didn't-
surprised when all year all we've done is throw when we're supposed to run?
But
That's all
over
we've done.
over the past 2 to 3 games, you've been able to run the ball successfully.
I'm telling you,
So-
even when we have a good game running, the next game we don't run the ball at all. Like
It
literally,
is
look at us,
true.
look
Okay,
at the
yeah,
carries.
yeah, no,
we
it is
don't,
true.
and the max, even on a good game, the max I think we've run is like 19 times. That's horrible for a team that wants to be balanced. That is not. That's
But
not
you,
good.
you know what the worst part of that is going to be? Even though, like, I know we haven't been as successful. I think this game was the game we honestly didn't try. In other games, we just weren't successful.
I don't know
but-
how you again like last game you were like, oh, we're trying to make a stamp on a 1-8 team. Now you went in saying we
It
didn't
wasn't
try.
trying to make a stamp on beating the Texans. Anybody can beat the Texans. It was the stamp was to keep Tua in the game, so he kept on improving his numbers to stay in this competition for MVP. That's all that I was saying on that one.
If that
so
is the
don't
case,
twist
I'm
the-
sorry.
don't
We
twist
have
the
a
words.
dumb ass coach right now, because who does that? I've never heard, like, you're literally trying to keep your quarterback in the 11th game of the year and a year that he's been hurt a lot.
You don't
just
think
try to pat the stats?
McDaniel's trying to stunt on the NFL his first season and try to make Tua look like he's a
If
god? Like,
we
come
make
on.
the playoffs, he's already won. Like, I'm
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure,
giving you
of
that.
course,
That's it. Just that.
of course.
Just that. Go ahead.
So
Next
yeah,
segment, yeah, please.
next segment we're gonna get into the turn, the turning point of the game.
Oh damn, did I do that one? on
Yeah,
the first-
you
what the
did
fuck
that on the
happened there?
first one. You know, I mean,
It's because I said Tua first, but whatever. Go ahead, Martin. Yeah, you take this one. I'll
Um,
come up with another one.
turning point of the game, where just the game either turned bad or good for us. In this week's case, bad, disappointing.
I think
Yeah.
from the moment the second drive started, it was overall sloppy. Like, it wasn't like we
Shaky.
no sloppy, because I don't think we even looked like, if you want to go back and say all these numbers that he's put up, for him to have a bad game, I don't even look at the stats and be like, that's what I'm going off. He just looked like it was his first game of the year. Like, it looked like he was rusty.
He was
How-
shaken,
but-
I don't know what got to him. Is it the whole week thinking like, okay, I don't have my left tackle, and now I have these two
Bro,
guys?
but if I hear that excuse from a
No, I
freaking
know.
NFL quarterback
I know,
once
I know.
again, and you guys and your fans of Tua, you have to see this from him. Your quarterback's going to his first like road game stretch into December, after 2 back-to-back seasons of failing in December. If he can't do this with the roster he has right now, Armstead or no Armstead, is he really proving
I
you
believe
guys right?
I believe Tua has a good record in December. Just hasn't won the game.
The games that he
The
needs
game
to.
to go.
The game he
The,
needs
the
to.
first
Well,
year
that's-
was Buffalo at
that-
the end, guy. We weren't gonna
Okay,
win
and
that
then
one no matter
Tennessee?
what.
That has
Tennessee,
been
100%.
the story with the Dolphins over
Forever.
the past 10 years
Forever.
at
I
least.
know, yeah.
At least, where we need to win the last either game or last 2
But
games,
I'm
and we miss out.
And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think this was a bad loss. I feel like if we wanted to lose any game, this was the game you needed to lose,
Yeah.
because it's the first game of the road
Yeah.
of the road stance.
Yeah.
You need to beat LA. You need to win in LA. You need to have a good game versus Buffalo to prove to yourself as a team that you can do it. Because if you can't keep up with Buffalo in December, what makes you think you're gonna keep
We're not
up with
going
him in the
to.
playoff? No, but you have to. You can't say San Francisco was a horrible game. Horrible.
Oh yeah.
You can't then have a decent game versus the Chargers and then go into Buffalo and be like,
Is it a horrible game though?
I'm sorry, but we've been working on getting a good offense for the last 3 years. That's what's been bad. If you can't go into this game on your first real opponent on defense, the best defensive team in the NFL, and go on an away game, because we're going to have to be a good away team
Of course,
to
yes.
go in the play. We're not
'Cause we're
going
not
to
getting home. We're not
but I've
getting
known
home. We
this
know
from the
this.
beginning. Yeah, we're not going to get that. So we
Well,
can't
that
be,
Buffalo game will determine if you get home or
No,
not.
you're not, because
No,
they're
no,
already going to be
no.
2 games ahead by then.
That well, if you beat them, no, you will have the game on them.
No, because they're already
No,
ahead of us.
they're ahead. Yeah.
They're ahead by 1 game.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they would
whatever.
have
Yeah.
to lose again. But
Okay, so
whatever.
yeah,
Let's
exactly.
see.
So if you can't win on the road, or you can't stay close with these teams, well, what makes you think these playoff teams are gonna play different? The Bengals are playing really good right now.
Yeah.
I just
You're
think
looking at the
we're
Ravens.
eventually gonna have to.
Ravens are good in the playoffs. I don't care. You don't want to play in Baltimore. If Lamar
Well,
Jackson's
let's see
healthy,
what's wrong. Yeah.
if Lamar Jackson's healthy, you don't want to play Baltimore. They're 8-4, so he can miss a game or two and still be okay.
Yeah.
The other team is the Jets. The defense has played better than what you expect. You don't want to see the Jets here in Miami another year will be nice, but I'm not happy about seeing Rodgers.
I just don't want the last game of the season to be one of those win and get in scenarios.
Why not?
I just don't. We don't need to. If we
I know
if
that.
we get to
I know
that,
we don't need that.
if we get to that scenario, this has been a fail. What did you jump off to an 8-3 lead
But I
this
said
season
this,
for that to be the outcome?
and I agree. I feel like, but it's gonna start with the away games. It's gonna start with that because you have 2 more to go. You have 3 more to go, right? Don't we play the Pats away? Or
Yes,
that's
yeah.
after
We
the
play the
Green
Pats
Bay.
away. Yeah, after Green Bay.
After Green Bay.
After
Alright,
Green Bay, yeah.
So look at that. And I'm sorry, but playing Green Bay anywhere, home or away, you don't want to see that in December. No way. Because
It all depends on where they end up. If it looks like they're dying off already, it is what it is. But
I
they had a
just-
good game.
I just want to point out this is probably like the best offense season we've seen in the past 5 to 6 years,
Yes,
Yeah,
Tannehill's
well,
playoff
yeah.
season.
and this is probably the most competitive the league has been within the past 5 years.
the most the
No,
AFC,
the AFC,
has
AFC,
been because the
yes,
NFC is
yeah,
a
yeah.
fucking joke.
This
But
year.
it
This-
is
yeah.
crazy. I was looking at the teams today. You got, I don't know, like 5-8-4 teams or 7-4 teams.
Yeah, but
and
that's
stuff like this.
I think
It's
that's
crazy.
the NFC South. That's really the worst. But yeah.
Turning point? No. Well,
yeah,
I don't think the turning point, because I do think even though he did have a bad game, if we would have converted on that 4th and 1, we were coming for that comeback and we were going to take that one.
but you know why?
But
you were
we didn't
given that
get it
opportunity?
because you didn't run.
But the defense kept us in the game, and you guys are saying otherwise. You guys are saying that we're the
Brock
reason.
Purdy.
No. The
looked-
defense did keep you in the game, but when it counts,
you
is what he
needed to
said.
get off
When you
the
needed to
field.
get him off the field.
Understand? You're not.
You were
go-
getting gashed.
If you're going off Purdy's game, then you're looking at 200 yards. It was all dump offs to McCaffrey. You're
Okay.
looking at playmakers making
he
plays.
made
But-
he made all the right, and he looked comfortable.
And
That's the main
I'm
thing.
coming at Josh Boyer for this one because you cannot be running the same thing from start to finish, right?
Uh-huh. No,
And
it's just-
it's just insane how you're gonna keep consistently running the same defense, and he keeps shredding you and shredding you. And all they were trying to do was bring a blitz all night.
I feel like we try to switch it up as much as possible. Shanahan's a great coach, man. He knows how to, especially at home, it's a lot easier. I'm not saying, again, I'm not giving the excuse, but I feel like for them to only give up field goals in the second half, it kept us in the game because that touchdown that Tua had to Hill was set up, was one more score, and you're back in the game. You're winning the game.
Yeah.
So we didn't do that. We didn't do anything in the fourth quarter. I think that was a third quarter touchdown, right? For
Yeah.
the Hill.
That was like a 5
No,
or
no,
6 play
early- it
It
drive.
was already
only.
the fourth. It was
Early
already
in the fourth. Early in the
How
fourth.
many plays in the drive?
That was like the third, I think, fourth play. It doesn't matter.
It's
Either way.
quick. It was really.
It was a quick one, yeah.
But I don't think we did enough on both sides, I guess. But I there's no way to lean on the defense for this situation that we had. But again, I'm happy. I'm happy that we actually are going to learn from this one,
Yeah.
hopefully, because the thing was, and it was weird. I'm like, McDaniel was okay if we lost this game because he's like, oh, if we win, it's a great thing. If we lose, who it is.
They wanted a test already. They wanted to see, like, all right, this is the wake up call because you're gonna get games like this come playoff time. So, all right, better
You're
to
not
get
gonna-
it out of the way early
you're-
in
you're-
December than
yeah.
in January, February.
The thing is, I want to see this team play complete football, especially going into the LA, going into Buffalo. I want to be able to see the offense look, comfortable, the quarterback look comfortable, and I feel like giving him a run game will do that. Especially if you haven't seen much of him on an away game. Get him those dump offs, get him those screen plays, give him a run game to calm down his anxiety because it looked weird,
Like
man.
it's all in it looked like it was Dan Marino football there. Like just throw.
And the good thing
It
about
didn't
LA
make sense.
is the fans in San Francisco are way more serious than going to LA. So it's gonna be a different environment. So I feel like this should be a good thing. Although it's an away game, it's a good leading into the Buffalo game, which you're gonna go and get some crazy fans again.
Yeah,
Can he deal? If he can't deal with San Francisco, you're not gonna deal with Buffalo.
definitely not.
So yeah,
Especially-
let's go on to the next segment.
Down the river.
Down to the river. We're gonna talk about next week's game where we got the
Chargers.
Los Angeles Chargers. And next week the Dolphins will bring the 12th and the 13th man with them, and Martin and Alejandro.
Excited to be there. Like
Yeah,
just to be in a game at SoFi. It's
I'm not gonna lie. this is the game I was looking forward to because I'm sorry, man. I like watching Herbert play. Herbert
I did
has,
too in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, no, hey, whatever, man. Herbert has that arm that can any play can be a touchdown.
He's exciting to watch. You got to give him credit there too. But.
And I feel like this won't be a game that the offense is tested. I don't think so, but it can become a shootout.
Yeah,
that's what you're scared about.
Okay, so after this Sunday's game, does Chargers now become a must-win?
Oh no, 100%. This is the game that I feel like you have a better chance of winning.
100%.
If you don't win this game, you're not winning in Buffalo. I'm sorry.
You're going 0-3. And I think we kind of discussed this in prior episodes. It was like we said the worst scenario has to be 1-2.
Yeah,
these next 3 games. So we have to win in LA. And so the recipe for that, I think we're going to have to become a little more balanced because if you get into a shootout with the Chargers, I don't think, we have the firepower to complete the mission there, bro. But I think controlling the clock is going to be the key to win.
Because we saw the Raiders, Devontae Adams, nasty, man.
Went off.
He went off on them.
Doesn't matter who's throwing him the ball.
No, exactly. Yeah,
Doesn't
literally.
matter.
So Tyreek Hill is that type of receiver, and we have him. If Waddle's healthy,
he said he's playing. He said he's
I'm gonna start
playing and being healthy.
I'm gonna start throwing in props while you guys are talking. So,
if we can somehow contain Devontae Adams, I think we can.
Devontae
Adams plays for Raiders.
Keenan Allen. As long as we can contain Keenan Allen, I think the rest of the team, although Jordan Palmer has looked decent in games. I'm not really worried about him. I'm
just kind of that deep
Keenan
threat.
Allen. Yeah.
But that's the thing with a guy that can throw the ball 70 fucking yards. You got to worry about the entire field.
And the guy that I'm really worried about because every running back that can catch us hurt us is Eckler.
Yeah,
Eckler is one of those running backs that you have to always have your eyes on him because if not,
Eckler over under 50 yards receiving.
Over.
Definitely over. Easy over. Now that's the thing. Continue. Now after this last game plan, you've just faced a caliber threat from the backfield, and you put Duke Riley on him. I'm surprised we didn't see Channing Tindall. Like you need a speedy linebacker that can kind of stay with these guys, but it has to be something like that. But none of these linebackers can cover, man. They really can't. They can't make an open field tackle. Guys fall and give up 30 yards. Like
your best coverage linebacker is Jerome Baker. He gets beat,
and he's not even a good cover guy. He's a blitzer. He's one of those. But
he can't do it all, man. He's covering Kittle.
It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough. No, I thought Eric Rowe was on him a lot more than everything.
Don't talk about Eric Rowe, please. That guy. Did you see
the sneak was rough?
Oh, no,
not stealing that one.
Not even that one.
Bad,
the McCaffrey first touchdown. If you look at it, they're lined up on his side, 2 receivers. McCaffrey coming out the backfield.
So much space.
Rose in the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
When his guy's McCaffrey, how are you going to keep up? How are you going to catch? It was an easy dump off.
I guess look at the they were. No, I know. I'm guessing they were worried about a pick play and somebody have to be in the backfield because normally that's the NFL.
You're not worried about McCaffrey? McCaffrey with a dump off?
I think those guys that were closer should have stepped up on that. How are you giving him the wide open? Like that doesn't make sense.
There's 2 receivers literally being covered, so you're expecting that guy coming from the backfield to be covered by somebody, and I'm pretty sure that was Eric.
Either way, we're on to LA. Do you see Tua having a bounce back game?
Over under a pick.
Tua or Herbert?
Both.
I'm not really worried about.
Give me Tua first.
I'm not really worried about either quarterback. I feel like both will play well. But I'm hoping that Tua does have a bounce back game because I think there's no way for him. There's no way.
Over under.
Interception.
Interception.
If it comes to shootout, yes,
I'm going under.
Tua will have an interception. Yeah. Herbert over under interception.
Yes.
On one, yeah, he'll have one.
He'll have
one. None for Tua this week.
Oh, okay.
I think this one's gonna come down to the last drive.
If it comes to shootout, I'm sorry, I'm thinking Herbert.
I got Tua with 1 this week. I got Herbert with 2 this week.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like going to LA.
More passing yards, Tua or Herbert?
Herbert. Come on,
Herbert.
I think we're gonna come back strong and we're gonna jump up. We're gonna jump up.
I think we're gonna see a very good game.
Predictions. Start with you, Martin.
I think
score and MVP.
Oh, coño. Okay.
Pressure's on.
MVP to win this game, it's gonna be Tua. And it will be 28-24.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
Close.
I think it's
I'm so excited just to be there, bro. I'm my God. The moment it got announced the prime time, I bought a ticket without even having a plan. I bought tickets.
Back to
it was crazy.
Cali.
I've never been, but yes, 100%.
Yeah, can I ask you a question?
Go.
What was your MVP first?
MVP, yeah, I'm going with Tua. I'm going with over 350 yards throwing.
Woo!
If you see a dud from Tua this game, what are you saying? Another, not even a dud, because I feel like the stats could
What's
be
the
there.
Trump video? Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. They're too bright. I mean, that's how you have to do it because now you've had several games where they're big critical moments and you got to go show the world what you can do. And yeah, it's unfortunate Cincinnati got cut short because I think he would have had a big game that
Yeah.
way. But
But it's winning the
Chargers-
games you're supposed to win.
exactly. And this
Need
is
to win,
this
need
is
to
a
win.
primetime game, and against the Steelers, you really didn't show anything. So we need you to come out and show that you are a top quarterback in this league and to
Score
show what your
prediction.
stats have been
Oh, yeah.
showing this whole season.
Score
okay?
prediction.
Score prediction. I have them throwing over 350, so I'm going high scoring. I'm going 34-24 Dolphins.
Wow.
What's yours?
What's yours? Yeah, let's get some input for you.
Are you going to LA?
I'm not going to LA.
You can still
unfortunately.
come.
No.
You could just
In your
I'll
hand.
put you in luggage.
Trying to get to Buffalo, man. We'll see. We're gonna go Miami Dolphins 30, Los Angeles Chargers 20.
Okay, 10-point victory. I have
Okay.
the same thing. Yeah.
Your MVP will be Tua Tagovailoa. I still
Bro,
can't
you
say
can't
his
say-
name.
Tungo Vailoa.
Tagovailoa.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I guess I was better than the first
Tagovailoa, something like that.
Freeze tag.
300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Tyreek Hill, 150 yards receiving,
Ooh.
No, that's fine. That's easy.
150 yards receiving,
He had
11
that this
receptions,
Yeah,
Sucked,
you're right.
yeah.
Yeah.
2
Well, he had the
touchdowns.
bomb.
2 touchdowns, Tyreek
It was
Hill.
only 45 yards.
Ooh.
Raheem Mostert,
All right, we don't
That's
need to
the
break
thing.
down.
I think-
70 yards on 12 carries.
I think we need to at least show that we're gonna try to run the ball. Because my scare is that all right, going into the playoffs, let's say, because I still have us at the floor 11 wins. How can you compete in the playoffs without running the ball? So if or you can't wait until January 1st to do that. You can't wait until your first playoff game to try and establish the run. You got to get that shit moving in motion now.
Yeah.
So if we don't do it now and we try to do the Dan Marino style of football with Tua, he's bound to have bad games. It's gonna happen.
But it sucks when it's versus a good team.
A good defense, and believe it or not, yesterday was still very winnable. Even with everything that went
said
wrong,
that.
it was very winnable, and it felt more like instead of the Niners being dominant versus us, it felt like we just continued to shoot ourselves in the foot. So that's a very encouraging thing.
Big
I think.
shout out to Chris Greer making another move, signing Eric Fisher.
Yes, and I think that is huge because
Signing Eric
they
Fisher.
said Armstead was almost ready to play. So imagine we got
Yeah.
both towers
He's not
on
gonna
the
play
outside.
first game. He's not gonna play.
He's not playing versus Los Angeles.
They said he was very close to going.
No.
That's all I was saying.
Come on, Fisher.
Oh, don't be surprised. Well, maybe they throw Shaw out one more game, but and that was another thing with the coaching. Is like at some point they literally just let
You know,
Bosa
it's
go
another
off.
thing. Without we're done.
All
Thank
right,
you.
well.
That's this week of Off In episode.
Till next
Off
time.
In, where we go all in.
Off and take over.
Don't forget
LA,
all-
SoFi.
Let's go. Off
Ralph's
In.
coming. Ralph's coming.
I'm not going anywhere. See ya.